Hi, and welcome to Jen and Dan's Natural Healing with Plants, the go-to podcast for holistic health seekers looking to harness the power of nature for health and healing. I'm Jen. I'm a passionate health educator, a whole food plant-based culinary coach, and master herbalist. And I'm joined by Dan. He's an exercise specialist and a wonderful master herbalist who specializes in cardiac care, the heart. Together, we'll dive into the world of natural healing, bringing you a wealth of knowledge and practical advice. We draw from both traditional wisdom and modern science with herbs and foods to help you achieve optimal health. So hello, and today we are exploring a topic at the heart of our natural healing practice, herbal remedies. We often hear about the pros and cons of using herbs. Some people are just scared to even use herbs. And a lot of people are out there, they just want to know, what herb do I need for this? What herb do I need for that? I have high cholesterol, what herb do I take? I have these stomach issues, what herb do I take? And that's not really exactly the way that we approach it. We like to look at the whole body in a holistic way.
Yeah, Jen. We've used herbs for thousands of years, and there's a reason because they worked. They were really potent medicine. However, in natural healing, we don't just use herbs because we get that a lot. What can I take for my blood pressure? What can I take for this or that? Instead, we want to look at building the body up. We want to make the body as healthy as possible. We look for imbalances, and we help work to bring the body back into balance because the body is always trying to come back to equilibrium. And so a lot of times we're doing things to keep it from doing that. So we look at it and start to do the things that bring it back to health.
Right, right. And like in my example in the beginning, we have so many people, they just want to know what herbs are for what body system. And that is really the same way as the conventional medical pharmaceutical system. You have an ailment, we give you this treatment, which we're not supposed to use on that word. But that's what happens in the conventional medical system. Everything is for a symptom, for a disease, and we don't approach it that way. Yes, these herbs are wonderful. Like we love hawthorn berry because it's wonderful for strengthening the heart. It's a wonderful herb. However, you have to look at more than that. There's a reason why someone would need the hawthorn berry, and we need to find out why they need the hawthorn berry, that something is out of balance in the body that's causing this problem. If you have high cholesterol, it could be that you're eating a lot of cholesterol, but most likely it's you have inflammation going on in the body. And we need to find out what is the source of this inflammation. And we need to look at the whole body. Are you doing all of the things? And so that's something that we really have to look at to help the body to heal itself. That's what natural healing is. We have these systems in place. You cut your hand, it naturally heals itself. You break your arm, it's going to heal itself. It may not heal it the way that we need it to heal, but they find skeletons from animals that have died from broken bones, and you can see they didn't die from the broken bone. They continued on, but those bones will go back together in one way or another. There are ways that we can help that as well with herbs. But that's something that we need to look at. There's no quick fixes. We can give you hawthorn berry, but you have to actually look at your diet and your exercise. Are you doing these other systems, these other protocols? I hate using protocols because we're all very unique. We have to look at the whole body and see what's going on in the wrong way and what's going on in the right way, and bring it all back into balance. That was a really weird way to say that.
Yes, we're always trying to look at the bigger picture, like Jennifer's talking about. Now we can use herbs. I have with people. Because they ask me, I say, well, yeah, you can use this for your blood pressure or so on and so forth. But this is while I'm teaching them how to become healthy again, like Jennifer was just alluding to. And so, and look, I take herbs, but it's just part of a healthy lifestyle for me now at this point.
Yes. Yeah, I like to look at herbs as, if you watch my reels, my functional foods. Herbs are functional foods to me, and they have to be added into all these other things. Like I have my bedtime teas at night. Do I have to have bedtime tea to go to sleep? No, but it's just a part of my sleep hygiene, my sleep routine. It's nice and calming, and I sleep really well when I drink these. Do I drink one specific one? No, I rotate my herbs and choose different ones each night. Maybe it's chamomile one night, valerian one night, holy basil or lemon balm, any of those, or lavender, something like that. But it's just something that goes along with my regular sleep routine, and it's not necessary. I can go without it. And so, like, if someone comes to me because they're having trouble sleeping, maybe we'll give them some of those herbs, but then we'll also talk about things like dimming the lights at night and putting away all technical devices, no phones and no iPads, no blue light after 8 p.m. or whatever, no sleeping. I have so many clients who sleep with their AirPods in and they're not sleeping. And so we start looking at all the other things that need to be removed as well as incorporating the herbs.
Yes. And also, a lot of cultures have used herbs over the years as preventatives to keep us from getting sick. Now, this is along with a healthy lifestyle, but some herbs can help with prevention. We have our adaptogens like ashwagandha. It can help the body manage stress, and God knows we need that. It helps, lower our
Right,
cortisol levels if we're under a lot of stress.
right,
It helps support the body's resilience. And, I tell people, especially people that have had a history of heart disease, I tell them they should, use cayenne and hawthorn on a regular basis because it helps support the heart, especially if you are trying to reverse the heart disease, because why wouldn't you, the extra support?
right, right. And I like the antioxidants that are in those herbs too. And the like cayenne, I mean, it's a food. And you use cayenne on your food. You can use cayenne in other forms as well. And hawthorn berries are a food. And
Oh
so
yeah.
we have to stop thinking of them as something scary and hard to use. But there are some herbs that we do have to pay attention to. Maybe they're not appropriate for everybody because, excuse me, we are all unique. Like even adaptogens, like ashwagandha. Ashwagandha is not right for everyone, but it's a fabulous stress relieving herb for some people. The same with eleuthero or gotu kola. But sometimes those can be energizing for some people when you don't want to be energized. And we have to not only pay attention to our individual needs, we have to think about how the whole body is connected and think about not just the diet and exercise and sleep, but also emotional health. It's one of those things that it seems so woo woo, but I also feel like in this day and age, it's something that's really coming to light a little bit more. Past traumas and how we handle things and react to things, they're all kind of the way we grew up. It's things, our environment has helped form our emotional health. And it's what are you doing to recover from those things? What are you doing for your mental health? And adding herbs, you can be eating all the foods and doing all the things and using these herbs. But if you're not in the right mental state, the herbs aren't going to help you at all. Dr. Schultz talked about that a lot. And so, if someone comes to me and they say, but I'm already doing all of these things, then that is something that I usually have to turn to. And it's something that can be really difficult to talk about.
Oh yes, very, very difficult to talk about. And they're showing that if we're under a lot of emotional trauma and negativity, it actually does suppress our immune system, like you're just saying. So we can be doing all these wonderful things. I've heard of stories from other coaches that they've known people that ate meat every day and smoked, but they were really happy people, so they never got sick. And then had other people that followed a strict diet and exercise, but they were miserable and they would get sick.
Right, right,
It's crazy.
right, right. Even my grandma's an example of that because she eats anything and everything. She always has, but she's always upbeat and social and around people all the time and active. She's 102. And yeah, I think that's one of the things that's kept her going. So sometimes we have to look beyond, the foods and the herbs. There's so many things. Well, the blue zones are huge right now, and longevity studies are huge right now. And we see in all of those that it's a whole spectrum of items because the body is made to incorporate all of those things. If you think back hundreds of years ago, tribal communities, everybody helped each other, hunt and gather, and they were always in community. And what were they eating? If you think about it, if you were outside right now and had to gather your food, you'd be eating a lot of greens. There's
Oh,
not
yeah.
a lot of times that you have fruit out there. There's not a lot of times you have seeds out there. And we can't say that we're better hunters than a tiger. If people did eat meat, it wasn't all the time because it took a long time to actually catch something like that. And so it's mostly greens. And so we have to think about, how were we created in the beginning? Eating lots of herbs and greens. Dr. Christopher talked about that a lot. The herbs are made for our food. And so we have to really pay attention to that. And so we were out getting exercise, hunting and gathering, squatting to pick up foods, moving the body all the time. And they couldn't see at night, and there was no blue light. And so sleeping, it was dark, you sleep. If it's sunny, you're out and you're hunting and you're gathering and collecting and farming when they started farming practices and moving and working together too. And so I'm not sure what their mental health was like, and they didn't live really long lives, but apparently there were enough people that lived long enough that we're all still here today.
Yeah, they had a perfect healthy lifestyle. They did all the things that, and we can try to recreate these things in our
Mhm.
modern day. I try to.
Me too. Me too. I try to do all of those things. And back then they died of, dirty, unsanitary conditions. They
Yeah.
had bacterias and things that made them sick because they didn't know about, well, then they didn't have, ways for cleanliness. But these days, people are dying from the, resistant bacterias and man-made diseases that they didn't have back then. Was it because they didn't live long enough? I don't know, but I think a lot of it is man-made. We're eating these man-made foods that are not foods, and we're staying inside. Here we are on the electrical devices all the time, and we're sitting most of the day, and we're staying up late and not letting ourselves sleep, and we're isolated. I work from home, and so I'm not in community. So it's finding ways to connect with community as well as all a part of a, a healing journey. And so this topic today is no quick fixes. And so, when people come to you, everybody wants a quick fix. I want a quick fix. I have a client who I do culinary coaching, and I have a client who he has trouble adjusting his diet because he only wants one step. And, we talk about making smoothies, and it's like, what? Do you know how many steps that is? You have to take out your blender. You have to take out each of the ingredients. You have to blend it all up. You have to pour it, and then you have to wash the blender. And that's way too many steps. And I was like, you know what? You're right. That is a lot of steps. And so we all want one step, right? Who doesn't want one step? If I can just get an herb because I have a stomach ache or a rash or a headache or something, then yeah, I want that one herb. I don't want to have to change my ways.
Yeah, it'd be nice if it worked that way, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the beauty is, once you've done this a long time, it just becomes your life. It's not even that much effort anymore. It's just your life where you try to do these, the whole routine, get your sleep.
Yeah.
And look, we do, I mean, Jennifer and I, we both probably get too much computer time, but that's just part of being an online health coach.
Right.
But we try to do other things like get out and walk during the sun, get the sun on your skin, things like that. It's just the whole thing. And look, and I've already I've said it before, I have seen herbs do some amazing things with people that were still living
Yeah.
badly. But I wouldn't count on these people staying healthy for the long term. Long term health depends on the diet, the exercise, stress reduction, all these things that we talk about. So,
Yeah.
and look, I know it sounds, if you've never done it, you probably think, oh, that sounds so hard. It's not. It's really not,
Right.
It doesn't take that much time. I mean, I exercise maybe, I don't know, 30 minutes a day. So, it's not that much, you know?
Right. Right. Well, that's what I'm thinking too. People are always like, how can I do all the things? When we start naming it sounds overwhelming. But if you just pick one new thing you want to start doing now, master that, and then start adding the next thing, And so what's the biggest block in your way right now? You know, is it your food? You know, how can you tweak your food? Maybe you want to eat more plants. Yes, please eat more plants. And so work on that now. And then are you moving? Are you moving your body every day? So maybe not even, don't even add the exercise yet. Are you getting up and moving your body every day? Move your body and then start adding the exercise. So now you're eating better, you're moving, you're exercising. Are you sleeping? I mean, start looking at that. Are you drinking water? And so some of these things you can do at the same time. And so it sounds crazy, but like Daniel said, once you're doing it, it's a part of your routine. It's easy. Like I don't even think about it. You know, it's like, well, you know, you have the whole package. Well, yeah, but it took a long time to get there. And that it wasn't overnight that all of a sudden you're doing all the things. You just need to pick one thing and do one
Yes.
thing at a time.
And don't underestimate the one thing. I'm working with a guy now. The only thing he's doing, he switched. Switching to plant-based is a big step, but that's all he's doing right now. He's
Yes.
already lost 18 pounds in 1 month, and he's not even doing the other things yet. So look, think about when he starts adding the other things, but don't
Yes.
underestimate just one change, like Jennifer's saying.
Yes.
Make the first change and stick with that for a while until you can make the other ones.
Yes.
Your
I
body
love
will
that.
thank you.
Yes, you're allowing your body to naturally heal itself. That's the whole thing, natural healing. Changing that one thing, it lets the body start doing its thing, and then you change that one thing. Like this, you're a client, man. As he starts adding more things, I just can't even. I'm excited about what's going to happen next for him.
Oh yeah, he could probably lose 100 pounds, you know.
Yeah, it's amazing. That's awesome. Yeah, so I hope that you learned something today. If you enjoyed this discussion, please let us know. If we said something that you don't agree with, we want to know that too. Please like this episode and subscribe to our channel and share it with your friends and keep bringing your body back into balance. To work with me, you can go to holisticgen.com. To work with Dan, check out more at danthenaturalman.com. Thank you for joining us today.